Welcome in to Fishbowl Sports. I am Chief, and I am joined by Jalen here tonight. Going for Glory Cajun Softball 2026 preview is here live. We're going to go through the whole entire schedule for Ragin Cajun Softball. They're going to be kicking off in a couple of weeks here. Um, and Jalen, kind of a little bit mixed reaction. They were picked fifth to finish in the Sun Belt Conference in on for D1 baseball, and for this upcoming season, the coaches got together today and picked them to finish third. Their ULM was picked to finish second. I think that was kind of the shocker in that poll there. So, what do you think about these polls that got released today and this week?
Well, I think first of all, Chief, I think the ULM one, that's a huge shocker. First and foremost, not trying to diss ULM or anything, but that's a huge boost for their program. But as far as the Cajuns, I think that's pretty accurate. I think the Cajuns definitely I would say top five. I think they definitely could finish in top five in the Sun Belt. Top three will definitely be a goal for Allison Habits and her squad. Interested to see what they're gonna do this season. I know last season they really had some ups and downs, and they ended the year uh, losing not a losing streak, but they lost. I want to say the last game of the season. So they're just looking for a bounce back year. But I'm interested to see what they do on the road this year, though, more than I am interested in what they do uh, at home.
Wait, sorry guys, I muted myself. Okay, so we're going to go see how all that goes here. I do know they open up this season against Tulsa. That's gonna be a very good, interesting thing. But let's look at the dynamic of this team here a little bit here. If you look back of last season, it didn't fare too well for the Cajuns. It didn't fare too well. Okay, so with 24 five runs in 2025, those numbers were an average of signals that are also to Texas Tech to make the women's series run. So pretty good right now. Like this seems like to be like the first really true year of this stuff. Like she had a whole year to recruit basically, and they got a couple of stars, come in, from different schools like Alabama and like some of these other, higher, like transfer portal additions here. So do you? And I don't know. You need a mix of power and small ball. That's kind of what the Cajuns were playing last year with small ball mostly. What style are we going to see from the Cajun this year? Are we going to stick with small ball? Or are we going to go more? I think this team's got more gap power, but as far as like power bats, what you thinking?
Yeah, I think they definitely can have some power back. I mean, small ball is good. It can be effective, but at the same time, if it's not producing you any wins, then it's like not saying they didn't win any games doing it, but I'm saying just I feel like that. Yeah, they can get some hitters on this team. And you're mentioning some girls. I mean, when you look at who transferred from Alabama. You just talked about Kennedy Marse. I mean, I think she could definitely be a great player for the Cajuns this upcoming season, and that's her with many other names that can hit the ball. So I think that they can use the strategy of both, but I think going out there and just hitting, just
So you think that's the way it should be?
if they want to start off with small ball and train, and then as games go on and see how the flow goes, then she can make some changes. But I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes there. I also learned something here. For the two things that we use at program wise, you so we introduced a new software for ourselves here that we got here on Fishbowl, so we're still kind of learning it here. I do got to give a little disclaimer for that there because it's not the best quality stuff that we've ever done here. But I do think that this will propel Fishbowl sports into the future very much. Well, we're still learning the program. Only we can learn this stuff and iron out the kinks if we go live with you guys. So that's what made this stuff kind of cool a little bit here. So anyway, just from the look and the aspect of everything here, I think you get a really good. I think we're gonna have a so D1 they study softball, and but I do think you can overanalyze. Look at the numbers a little too closely. Numbers they tell you a good part of the game, but they don't really like metrics here. If you go look at back at last year, and I'm gonna pull up Warren Nolan here. I'm not gonna do it on this. I'll pull this up on my phone here because it's easier to tell you. Warren Nolan isn't updated for this year. That's why I'm not bothering doing the that's why I'm not bothering doing the predictor because I do love the predictor. Predictor spits out some crazy stuff, but oh, they updated the baseball beta. All right, cool. Did not know they were doing that. They'll probably do the softball beta pretty soon here too. So let's look at where the Cajuns finished last year. We do know they ended up not doing so well in the Sun Belt last year, but they had a lot of one-run games. They had a hard time figuring out how to close out games. They finished 14-10 in Sun Belt last year, 29-25. But like I said though, a lot of 1-2 run games here. Like Seton Hall beat them in the first game of the season last year, 2-4. Um, so that is, and like they lost to Auburn 3-4 in one of their games. That's if you count it. I remember Jalen. We talked about this. The one loss games. If you count all those one loss games that they had, like McNeese was 4-5 in a midweek, 5-6 against Marshall. If they would have flipped that game around, they would end up beating Marshall on that one. Coastal, their first series, 4-5,
Imagine if
four to five against Troy,
all
five
those
and six
games
against.
were
Wait, what,
wins. It would
Jalen?
be we'd be talking. Imagine if all those games were wins. We'd be talking about a totally different season.
Exactly. I don't think the rails fell off for the team last year. They were definitely still viable, winning games and stuff. Like toward the end of the year, and like Tech State 2-3. Like this right South Alabama, they got to win against that one there. And James Madison had lost 0-1. Louisiana Tech lost 1-2. I'm gonna say that last year, I personally believe that as an anomaly compared to what we normally see, obviously, because if you've had success, I think the last time that they didn't score that many runs, like what we were talking about earlier, the stat wise, was 2018. But they still had pretty good success because they had a very good pitcher during that time. Pitching staff's going to look a little different this year, so that is something else that needs to be looked at there as well. Um, Jalen, how you view pitching for the softball team this year?
That's you said how you think pitchers going to go.
How you view the pitching team this year, like a pitching staff?
I think. I mean, I think it's definitely different going into this season because, like I said, you just you the past couple of seasons before, you also had some heavy hitters. I mean, when you think of the Sam Landrys of the world, you think of just, I mean, girls like that have come in and lights out pitching. But I mean, I think coming into this season, they're gonna heavily rely on pitching than they've done in the past couple seasons. I think, and I think, like I said, it goes to saying I think the team they have a lot of hitters, they have a lot of girls that get on base, but I think pitching is where if they don't have great pitching this year, they're not gonna improve from last year.
Yep, I'm trying to see because this thing's kind of funky with the looking at a PDF. and I can't get out of this thing because it's gonna be like you're not gonna be on the audio here. So let's see here if I can get this thing to scroll. Let me just do view full screen. Thank you. It actually did that there. So here's some interesting tidbits from last year. The Cajuns, when they scored 0 to 2 runs, they were 4-13. When they scored 3 to 5 runs, they were 13-10. 6 to 9 runs, they were 12-2. They break it
I'll
down
tell
by
you
like
something
how
right
many
there.
runs you score, and so like break even number that they get the most wins. It looks like so for the Cajun pitching last year, record when opponent scores 4, 1, and 3. But if they score 3, it's 5-2. So if they can limit 3 runs a game last year, we're talking about they had a total record. If you take the 3 and under, like they were 7-0 when they scored 0, so that's 17-1, 20-2, 25-7. If they scored 3 or less runs last year, now that's you having a great year. Um, the Cajuns did not score over 10 runs in a game last year. They gave up 10 plus runs in 7 games. That's why they're 0-7 and 10 plus when the opponent scored over 10 runs. I mean, we've seen that happen before. Their longest winning streak last year was 5 games. Their longest losing streak was 5. So far last year, Maddie Hayden isn't on the team anymore. She graduated. Sunbelt Freshman of the Year, Emily Smith, batted 362. Cecilia Vasquez, she was fifth on the team, batting 276. Sam Rowe isn't there. Laney Crater isn't there either. Mia Liscon, no, is a 288 hitter. So that is very good numbers. You would want to see 300. You want to see Kayla Falterman was hitting 388 last year. So you want to get in that 300 mark for sure because they only had 3 hitters above 300 last year. Now, if we're going to go look back, we're going to go date this back to 2024 when they made their super regional run. Let me view this in full screen again. They were 45-19 during that year. They've had 5 hitters hit over 300. And Vasquez, she was eighth on that team, hitting 281. So she's probably going to hit around 275 and above. I don't expect like for her like the 2 years that we're looking at 2024 and 2025, she's around that number. So I don't expect much over that, but you don't really need that. That's just if you just get on. I think the thing needs to be looked at here is just the ability to get on base here. If you can get on base, you can do some damage. That's all I say. I could care less about batting average if you're very good at your on base percentage is really high. If you really got good plate discipline, you can really make some noise there. So if you're looking at, let's see, I want to see do they have on base percentage anywhere on this little chart here? They don't give me anything, I don't think. Oh, they do have like stolen bases. I'm about to keep going in to see where it's at here. Just to kind of get the numbers for 2024. I know they have Sam Landry on this team. She was at Oklahoma. I think she's gone from Oklahoma this year. It doesn't give me anything on base percentage, but like it's gonna have it in the stats for individual players. But we'll look at that there when we get down to it here. So let's see. That's Sophie Pisco's Laney Crater. That's fielding percentage. Okay, this is what we're looking at here. On base percentage. Vasquez, 329. And that's like if you want, like if you're not good at math, which I'm not good at math either, that's about every three at bats you're gonna get on base, roughly around number wise. You know, every three bats you get on base if you're above 300, which is what you want to do. I know they have some that got like Maya Davis. She's at Texas Tech was on at 45.9%. I mean, you can kind of list do the numbers. Every two at bats she was getting on base. Brooke Elstad, very good team they had that year. So going back to 25, I say that there to bring up 25. You got to understand like where you have success and where you didn't have success last year. This is just kind of doing a overview here. Like Kayla Falterman was on base 48.3% of the time last year. Emily Smith was on there 43.1% of the time, hitting 362. I think she's going to be the X factor. What you think, Jalen, about Emily Smith?
Yes, it's definitely going to be an X factor. I mean, you don't get a player like her who had a phenomenal freshman year to come back for your program and want to keep delivering. So I think she's definitely going to be an X factor coming into this season. And like I said, I think it's going to be a great year for this team. More experience, it helps.
Yeah, you just hope that everything kind of goes better for you than it did last year. Cajuns do have some. I gotta go back, man. I messed up. I messed up there. I shouldn't have closed out of it because I wanted to compare it. You big dummy. Okay, let me pull up this that thing back up again for 25. That way we can look at all the newcomers and people that we get back here. That's 24. Why did it hit 24? I definitely had 25 there. Guess you can call my fingers sausage fingers at this point. Let's go make this multi-screen here. And that is not what I wanted. Uh, I'm trying to pull it up, y'all. Y'all give me a second here. Roster. Softball. So, Jalen, on confidence level, what is your percentage in the Cajuns win the Sun Belt this year?
I was confidence level. I It's tough because the Cajuns have a lot of competition. Um, I would say I'm gonna go with a good 70% chance.
70?
I think you said percentage. I think they're gonna win like 100%, meaning I have 100% confidence.
Like it, like you're like definite, like 100%, like where you feel at.
I think I'm at a good set. I think experience really matters, and I think the poll, especially putting them right at third, I think they have a chance to win this year. I really do. But I can't. The other 30% of me is like, hey, they still gotta keep it going. They gotta figure out
Okay,
who they are, their identity.
I feel you on that one. I do feel you on that one. So
Yeah, what you think?
I go back and forth with this. On one hand, you've had a year and you had time to go. You brought in some people that you believe will do very well for you. You got Liz Cano back. Marceau came over from Alabama. She's from Kaplan. Brooke Otto, a transfer from McNeese. Madison Manning came from LSU. Aaron Ardwan came over from McNeese. And if you start looking at these players from McNeese, they were on that 2024 McNeese team. They played in NCAA regionals in 2022 and 2023. So, in that regard, I feel like it's a very good opportunity for them. Like they made it to regional play, those two McNeese transfers. And Marceau was at Alabama, and they're no stranger to regional play themselves. You got a couple of young freshmen in there that are going to try to get their Bailey Mackles, and we heard about Deja Williams. She's had experience there too. Haley Hart's a freshman. Vasquez is back from last year. You got a nice mix going on. You got Lexi Delbray from last year too. Sage Hoover. She came in from Texas Tech. So what's gonna happen? You got some. You got Gabby Stutes and Kennedy Stutes as well. Kennedy's a freshman. Gabby was on the team last year. Emily Smith, like we talked about earlier. Michaela Ferguson, she's a senior. She came in from Northwest Florida State College. Not really too much information on softball for that school, but I mean, probably brings in depth. Bethany Noble from Seminole State. Like these are players that, like if you look at like Bethany Noble, for example, these players are trying to get a better opportunity, and the Cajuns definitely present that. Not talking trash about Seminole State, but it's just the way it is. She made 20 appearances in the circle, had 69 innings of work, 14 runs over 31 2/3, resulting in a 3.09 ERA overall. Finished 4-6 with a 5.07 ERA. Started against the Venture National Championship in Texas in her D1 debut on February 7th at Lansing Park. We'll see what happens. You just gotta hopefully everything works out better for you. You got
That's all
Lacey
you can ask
Prejean
after
back this
program.
year. She uh her stint at Northwestern State didn't, go too well. Won't get into that too much, but um very familiar with the Cajuns. So that should help out, bring some stability to this program. Also, addition into the assistant coaches for Raging Cajun softball is Kyle Brady and Bill Shipman. Bill Shipman, I've heard some good things about Bill Shipman. Like he's the hitting coach for the Cajuns. So he was brought in to significantly boost up the Cajuns here. So he came in from Western Michigan in his first season at Western Michigan. In the 2024 season, he had them ranked inside the top 10 in 6 different program single season offensive categories, from team batting average to doubles hit, most produced in a single season history. Even got a junior Peyton Kelly to an All MAC first team selection, and senior Haley Boxwell to an All MAC second team nod. Kelly saw a career year at the plate, posting at 351 at batting average, along with 53 hits, 25 RBIs, and 25 runs score. The Broncos' 27 wins marked only the 6th time since 1980 since the program reached that mark. Together, it took Western Michigan to its first MAC championship berth in 2019 and 2025. Kelly repeated as a first-team selection on the MAC All-MAC squad under Shipman's guidance. So it wasn't a fluke. He's able to do it back-to-back years, right?
Yep.
Um, so with that being said, how much do we think like the hitting is going to improve? I think this is kind of why we were talking about small ball and power hitting. I think he's going to get. I think the Cajuns are going to get better at batting, and I think with those one-run games that we talked about will make a big difference. What you think, Jalen?
Oh, definitely. With the kind of resume he has, and like I said, it's proven. We see it. You just called it out. I think he's going to be able to help the girls when it comes to their hits, because to make them even better at the plate. I think, yeah, when it comes to those one-score games, it's going to be on the Cajuns' favor this time around? Would I be able to put more points on the board?
So with the coaches poll for the Sun Belt, they have Texas State winning it all, which I can see. Texas State's always been a pretty good softball program. They got
Yes,
ULM
they
at
have.
second, and they didn't get a first place vote. Cajuns got a first place vote though. So it's not completely out the realm that they're going to finish up like fifth or sixth or wherever else. I think this Cajun program is poised to have a turnaround this year, and I think it'd be a real nice shot in the arm for the athletic program as a whole. Considering how bad basically all our programs are doing, except for football. Football, they didn't have a winning season though either, so I can't even say it was great success there either. So 6-7, and then they got the men's basketball team not doing too good, and women's basketball not doing too good either. They need something that come from these diamond and circle sports here to really rejuvenate the fan base. What do you think, Jalen?
No, absolutely. Because the thing about it, when you come to these fan bases, especially us being with being Cajuns, I mean Cajuns not only fans but alumni ourselves. We want to see these teams win. And basketball, both sports are not doing the best right now. In football, they had a chance, but you know how you say everybody saw that win. So we want to see the softball program get to its roots of winning, and I want to see it. So
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I think that it's going to be a very important way for the Cajuns to do all this stuff here. I think they, I think, I think they might be undersold a little bit with D1 softball. I'm kind of like around. I think the coaches polls a very good number, like three. I, if I like percentage wise, I think they could win it here. Um, like I flip flop every day with this guys. Like I feel like some days like I'm like about 50% chance I think they could win the whole time. Then there's other days I'm like 20% maybe. Um, but I say that to say whatever day Chiefs feeling. Today, how do I feel? How do I feel tonight? I feel like the Cajuns can. I'm around 40% because I'm unsure. There's a lot of transfers in here, but the transfers have experience again the regional. Also, you got to mesh together very well. But I think there's enough improvement. I said this last year. I thought the Cajuns were a regional team last year. I'm not going to back away from that prediction. I do think that the Cajuns will end up reaching a regional this year, which would probably mean winning the Sun Belt. So, ceiling wise and floor. Floor is obviously them not making the regional, but I think ceiling could be as high as a super regional berth. I see enough there that I can see a super regional berth for this softball team. The one thing that concerns me the most, though, isn't the hitting. I think it's the pitching. Because if the Cajuns can, if they can hold runs down to a minimum, like the numbers we were talking about, 3 runs a game, being scored about average, they will. I think their runs are going to go up this year. So I think like if opponents could get 4 runs, I still think that would probably be their break point, right? That they would lose more games if they got over 4 runs, which is normal for a softball team. But I do think they can kind of keep it around that 3 run average because the pitching wasn't the best last year. I mean, we had Mallory Wheeler ended up transferring; she left the team last year. Um, so I'm thinking that I think pitching is the question mark for this team because we don't know. We have players that coming off of injuries to see how well they're going to play. If they play very well, this thing could all go well. If they don't play well, it don't matter how good you're hitting. I'd rather take great. I'd rather take a great pitching team over a great hitting team because you ain't got to score that many runs to beat a great pitching team. I mean, to be a great hitting team, you don't need to score that many runs because they'll be shut down from your pitching. But let's go talk about the schedule, Jalen. Let's talk
let's
about the
do it.
schedule. So what you think, Jalen? While I'm trying to pull up the schedule here, do you feel like the floor is like non-regional, or what's the ceiling? What's the ceiling for this softball team this year?
The ceiling is definitely regional. I think. Well, I think they can be great and potentially win the Sun Belt. So, yeah, I think the ceiling is a regional. I think, and we can hold them to that high standard.
All right. To kick off the 2026 season, the Cajuns are going to be at home against Tulsa for the 40th annual Louisiana Classic. They'll play Jacksonville State. I think they got these kind of divided up. Oh, never mind. They got it in gray. Okay, I thought like Tulsa was red, but I thought maybe like home or visiting things. So in the Louisiana Classic, you have Tulsa, Jacksonville State, North Texas, Jacksonville State again. You go into the Education Invitational. But let's talk about Louisiana Classic here. Four games, February 6th to February 7th. How do you think that goes, Jalen?
So we got 4 games. Okay.
How you feel they're going to record out of that?
Oh man. So it's okay. So we're looking at this schedule: Tulsa, Jackson State, North Texas, Jackson. Okay. I can see 3-1.
Man, you must be reading my mind, bro.
I think it's 3-1. I really do.
So I was thinking 3-1 myself as well there because I think they'll drop one here somewhere. I just think that it's gonna be
Yeah.
kind of a rough. Like you're gonna find out how good you how much conditioning you've done because you're gonna play 2 games on the 6th. Then you turn around on the 7th and you play 2 more games. It's a lot going on that day. So and then you got Mardi Gras festivities going on. It's gonna be crazy and wild. Um, we're gonna probably end up fighting with the wives or something on the 14th. Uh, but you know the Cajuns are gonna take on Ole Miss for the Raging Cajun Invitational on the 13th at 1:30. Texas A&M Corpus Christi 4 o'clock that same day on the 13th. Then they play Ole Miss again on the 14th at 1:30, which is the same time as the Children's Parade going on. Basically, well, at noon. I think the Children's Parade's at noon or something at downtown. So there's gonna be a lot of parents over there with their kids. Prairie View AM, Yvette Gerard Field at Lambs Park, 14th at 4 p.m. And then the 15th is Texas A&M Corpus Christi to close it all out. So that's one, two, three. I think that's 5 games. Four,
Yeah, that's 5.
five. Yep. Um, let's see. I think Cajuns go 4-1.
You think they'll steal one from Ole Miss?
I think they'll still win from Ole Miss. Because, like I said, last year they played some of these SEC teams kind of close. So I'm thinking they're going to hit a little bit better than they did last year. And a little like I said, they wasn't far off the pace of it last year of getting a bunch of wins. We're having a whole different conversation comparing 2025 to 2026. So like they were close in a lot of one-run games last year. So I'm thinking that they're gonna have a little bit of improvement here. I'm feeling a little bit more, how would I say, like buying in, I guess you would say, than I would be kind of like last year. I thought last year they were a regional team, like I mentioned earlier. But I think they'll still win from Ole Miss. What you think, Jalen?
Man, that's tough. You know what? I'm having confidence with this team. I think they'll steal one from Ole Miss too. I think they'll go 4-1. I don't think they'll steal the first one, but I think the second one. I think they'll steal that one against Ole Miss, and I think they'll
I
go
think it
4-1.
really would send a message if they stole that first one.
It
Then they
would.
go
It
on
would
the
definitely. It would definitely send a message. I agree.
then they go on the road at Florida State. I think they'll drop that one. I think Florida State's gonna beat them. I just think that midweek, that February 17th, 5 p.m. game, I just don't see. The Cajuns got to be go on the road and beat Florida State. So I got them at losing that one there too, 7-3. Then they got the Purple and Gold Challenge. They'll play Howard in the first game. Right after that. But Jalen, what you think about Florida State? How you feel that one?
Florida State, that's going to be a tough one. I think the Cajuns might end up losing that one.
Yeah, that's fair. Howard Bison.
We're going.
They start off the Purple and Gold Challenge. Then they take on Michigan State, Howard, LSU on February 21st at 4 p.m. They will actually go back to LSU will come to Lansing Park later on in the year. I did pick this LSU game last night. If you're a Cajun fan and you didn't watch it, you watched that one. You already know how I viewed that there. Um, I think they'll sweep the Howard games. Michigan State's kind of a tough ask for them. I think they'll drop the Michigan State game. I think they'll drop the LSU game because LSU's team has a lot of talent, and I feel like if they don't like Bear and Juicy was having a great time last night. Shout out to them because they shout you out last night, Jalen. Um, because I was mentioning you came up last night because I mentioned that you were on the field when the last time you all beat LSU at Lansing.
Yes, I was. I was on the field. And it was a great game. I tell you that much.
So with that being said, there I think they'll drop two in this purple and gold challenge, and I think they'll sweep the Howard games. So they go 2-2 in that one, which I think they got 5 losses for me on the year, which isn't too bad. We're kind of getting toward the end of February, and it's like February 21st for that one, and 5 losses. You're kind of looking pretty good there. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's gonna be a tough road. But I think definitely the Howard. I can see that Michigan State. I think that's gonna be a definite close. Howard, LSU. I mean, if they could beat Michigan State, I think they'll give them a lot of momentum going at Tiger Park close to the end of February, trying to beat LSU. I don't think they'll win that one, but I think it'll give the girls a bunch of confidence.
Hmm. Give me 1 second, guys, while I do something here real quick. Cajun AC Louisiana Clash, Missouri, Houston, UNI, Northern Iowa. So they have all that. Wait, never mind. They don't have that one in there. Okay, it's only 2 games. I was expecting 4. You gotta forgive me. I'm on
Wait,
my phone right here, like you can obviously see here. They got
how many?
Missouri, then they got.
How many games do you see?
They only got 2 in this one. I can see them splitting it. That's the safe bet. But I do think they can actually end up winning both these games. Honestly, um, what you think, Jalen? I'm kind of on the fence on this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, it's gonna be a tough one. No doubt, Missouri and Houston. I think they'll go 1-1.
You thinking 1-1?
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I think 1-1's. I was kind of on the fence. I was like, they might win both these, but I'll go 1-1. I think that's fair.
I
Then
think
they
that's
got
fair too.
Northern
I think 1-1.
Iowa back at Lansing. I think they'll take care of that one. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I'll definitely take care of business with that one, and just try. Hopefully, they can build a win streak.
St. Mary's Texas A&M invite. That's February. That's in College Station. They'll be on the road. Texas A&M's a very good softball team. Kennesaw State's there. St. Mary again. Then Kennesaw. Texas A&M. So they play A&M twice on this schedule here. Like, look, they have a lot of Power Four teams on this schedule here. So I don't see them beating a game against Texas A&M. They are loaded this year. St. Mary, they'll probably end up winning both those games in Kennesaw State. I think they'll go 3-2 in this Texas A&M invite. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I think some of those will be closer than we think, but all those are definitely winnable games. St. Mary's, I think Texas A&M. That's the one where it's like, okay, I think they will lose that one. But Kennesaw State, St. Mary again.
So Abilene Christian is the next one. The Oklahoma Invitational. Uh, at Oklahoma, Abilene Christian too as well. At Oklahoma, we have three, four. That one there. Like I said, there's a lot of Power Four teams here going on there, and I think they'll beat Abilene Christian. I think they'll get the two wins there, but Oklahoma, that's a buzz saw right there.
I mean, lately within the last who knows how long we've been talking about softball and just watching softball as a fan. When can you confidently say that anybody could beat Oklahoma?
That's what I'm saying. Like they're a dynasty. Um, Texas won it last year, but Oklahoma was right there giving them a hard time too. They're very
Yeah,
good to themselves here. There's no shame in like the Cajuns losing to Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Like they're very good programs. I mean, like let me say that right there. I'm not trying to go like say like it's terrible they lose to them. Not. This is the gauntlet of a non-conference schedule,
yeah,
and we
it
have said
is.
that in the beginning of this episode here. But if they could get some decent wins in this year, that's going to help their RPI a lot as an at large here. They if they win enough games in this non conference schedule, they could definitely get an at large bid to the NCAA tournament. They could definitely chase it. What you think, Jalen? I got them going 2-2, but I mean these losses will help them on the road though too because they're going on the road. If they can still win against Oklahoma, it's going to jack their stock way up. What you think, Jalen?
Absolutely. I think they're going 2-2 also. And I think the biggest thing, I think I couldn't agree with you more, Chief. Going 6-15 last year away from home. I mean, I think even losing this will build confidence. It'll it's crazy how losses can make you into a better team, and I think it will for the Cajuns. So I think they go 2-2, but I think it's gonna be a learning thing. And if they pull off one against Oklahoma, you might as well pencil. I think you pencil them in right there to win to be at the top of the Sun Belt.
Southern Miss. They'll go. That's their first conference game of the year. Southern Miss. They'll be on the road against Southern Miss, a 3 game series. Then they'll take on Texas State in a 3 game series. And that's when we get into the March stretch there. So the Cajuns will be battle tested. So you know what? Give me a broom.
Ooh, not the sweep.
Give me a broom. I think they're gonna sweep Southern Miss. I think they make a statement in that first conference series because I think they need to. If they sweep Southern Miss, you could basically dump you saying like we're back. We're knocking on the door. Here we are. What you think, Jalen?
Hey, if you want to make a statement, that'll be great. I, I want to see. I know it's the first Sun Belt series. I think they'll take it. I think they'll take the series. They're gonna win 2-1. I don't think I'm ready to give a sweep yet, but hey, I love the confidence. If they can get a
Look,
sweep, that'll be great.
look. Um, the next series they got Texas State. If they want to make a big statement, they sweep Texas State at Lansing, which is you get them at home. They're the coach's poll favorite. So if you can get a sweep there, that's gonna be jolly. Jolly. Everybody's gonna be jolly go happy there basically. So I think I this is tough. I don't know. It depends on the pitching of the Cajuns. How do I feel about the Cajuns this year, pitching wise? They have a lot of like arms that have had experience, but they were injured. Are they gonna be durable enough to last the whole entire year? I think that's the question. I think everybody's kind of hedging their bets on. Uh, it's kind of tough. A three-game series at home, they shock it. I think 2 out of 3 at Lamson. What you think, Jalen?
How many you think they're gonna take?
I think they got 2. I think they'll win it.
Uh, man, that's agree with you. I'm agree with you. I'm gonna say that.
Because I think 5-1 starting out conference and Sun Belt, just like I think they need to make a statement, and I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to have enough firepower offensively with the additions they made on the coaching staff and bringing back some like pieces that have been there before and know the culture of the area, help recruit. That's going to re-energize not only the players but the fan base at large too, and that's going to feed into the ecosystem of Lanson Park, and it's going to be electric over there because they probably have the best softball fans in the entire country, and I will part that for none. They are something else over there. McNeese, I think they'll beat McNeese. What you think, Jalen? That's another
Yeah,
midweek game.
yeah, midweek game. I think they'll beat McNeese, even though McNeese uh has been good in softball the last couple of years, but I think they'll take this one to Cajun.
So I was a little shocked to see ULM at second.
Yes, I agree.
So they were kind of a sneaky good pick. Sneaky. I think Cajuns beat them 2 out of 3. What you think, Jalen?
I'm gonna go with that also. I'm gonna say 2 out of 3. Um, because I mean, not saying just because ULM got picked that high that the Cajuns will possibly lose. It's not that, but I think 2 or 3 in Monroe, I think they'll take.
So they got Troy. That's going to come next after that ULM series. I think they'll drop a series somewhere. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. I just think it'd be really hard to like not say not gonna run this table here. They have Troy at 9 here. I think there's gonna be some team that's gonna come out of nowhere in the Sun Belt and actually upset them, and it might very well be Troy. I mean, Troy's projected to be finished 9th here, but the coaches poll in the Sun Belt they never predict these things correctly very much. So Troy's probably gonna be on some run this year or whatever. Um, I think Troy takes 2 out of 3 against the Cajuns. I think they'll lose this Sun Belt Conference series at home. What do you think, Jalen?
Against Troy, no, I agree with you. At home, but no, I'm agree with you, Chief.
I'm just saying that I just think it's gonna be some team that's gonna come out and just have a good weekend against the Cajuns and end up beating them. I don't think it's like a normal C kind of thing. I just think it's gonna be a team get hot, at the right time and end up winning it. Next game they got is at Virginia. I got them dropping the game against Virginia. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I got them dropping the game against Virginia also.
James Madison on the road. James Madison was projected to finish 7th here. This one could very well be treacherous for the Cajuns, but I think they take 2 out of 3. They'll set the midweek match against LSU. What
Two
you
out of
think,
three
Jalen?
against James Madison. I agree with you with that one. And then LSU's the next one after that, huh?
Yeah, I don't see them beating LSU this year. I think LSU's got too much talent up front for the Cajuns here. I think the Cajuns will need to build for another year to take down LSU. Then they need one more year, depending how good much of an improvement they make in the hitting here. But like I said, pitching is going to be kind of like the place that I'm watching the most for the Cajuns this year in 2026. So it's a question mark for me for sure. I think they did well enough in the hitting area, but I think Habits thinks they have a good enough pitching staff for them to actually win a lot of games in the Sun Belt this year. So we'll see what happens with all that there. But I think LSU, I think they will end up losing to them at Lansing. What do you think, Jalen?
I want to get Cajuns a chance, but even at Lansing, I still don't think they'll be able to beat LSU. I think LSU is really one of the top teams in the nation as they are every year, and I agree. I don't think they're going to beat them this year.
Then you got Coastal. Coastal's going to be going to Lansing Park as well. 3 game series against them. Getting close to the end of April by that point there. I think they'll take Coastal's projected to finish fourth. That LSU loss is going to probably wake them up. I think they'll take 2 out of 3 against Coastal. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think after coming off a loss, I think they're going to be stronger. I think they'll lose one against Coastal, but I think they'll take both of them. I'll take 2 out of 3. I agree with you.
I know. I keep saying 2 out of 3, but it's like I'm kind of on the fence of where I think this pitching thing is going to be at because I keep referencing it because that's the question mark. How well is this pitching staff going to do? Or are they going to keep
Yeah,
them to 3 runs? Or because I think it's enough hitting that I think it's going to get wins there, but hitting isn't always going to be there every single game. So the 2 out of 3 makes sense to me.
yeah,
McNeese midweek game. I got them beat McNeese. What you think, Jalen?
yeah. I think they'll beat McNeese also.
Marshall at Lampton Park. I think they'll. I think they're gonna get revenge on Marshall. I'm gonna get them sweeping Marshall at home. What you think, Jalen?
I think at the this is close to the end of the regular season right here. When I even think close, it is the close to the end of the regular season. I think they'll sweep Marshall. I think finally, I think I had that confidence that they'll get it together throughout the year. They'll sweep Marshall and get some momentum going into the last series against South Al.
I know Marshall is projected to finish fifth in the Sun Belt coaches poll for this year, but I think they got them ranked a little bit too high. I'm not too like feeling they're gonna be up there this year, but we'll see what happens. At South Alabama, 3 game series against them. This is the final series of the year. I think they could very well sweep them on the road, but give me 2 out of 3 because I just like I said, this is the pitching staff. I really don't know. Sun Belt Conference tournament is going to be at Lampton Park, so that's going to be a fun one to see. What you thinking, Jalen?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 out of 3 against South Al, but I think winning that series, they're going to have momentum going into the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So, with all that being said, here, Jalen, the 2026 Ragin Cajun softball team will finish. Well, what will they make it to the postseason this year, Jalen?
I think they'll make it to the postseason. That's what I say.
Regional, super regional, or OKC?
I think regional. I'm gonna go regional. I don't want to put them too high, but I won't put them too low. I'm gonna say regional.
I think they'll make it to a regional. Um, Now, regards to the Sun Belt Conference tournament, they could get the auto bid if they win the tournament, but that's kind of going to be up there in the air somewhere there. So, I think they'll get back to regionals this year. I'm gonna go with regional, even though I missed it last year with the regional pick here. I think they were not really that far. If you want me to say it like that, I don't think they were really that far last year. Granted, the record didn't come out that way, but you got to look more at the games. They had a lot of one loss games. I mean, 1 run loss games last year. That could very well a bounce of a ball a different way could very well flip it here, and you never know how that stuff's gonna go here. But they got to learn how to finish games. That's kind of one thing that we need to see from the basketball team. That's something right now we need to go look and see. But we'll see what happens there, and just see what happens. I think that'll be all for us here, Jalen. What you think?
Hey, I think that is it. But hey, I think it's gonna be a great softball season. I want the fans, everybody to tune in. I think they're gonna have a great year. Can't wait to see it.
Thank you for tuning in here to Fishbowl Sports. Here, we hope you have a great, wonderful day. We're going to see you all here next time here on Fishbowl Sports 2026 Louisiana Ragin Cajun softball season preview. Hope you enjoyed this episode and all of our content that we have coming for y'all as well. Today, we have launched schedules on our website. So if you need any game updates or anything, we have the Raging Cajun schedules up there so you can go watch like game time and stuff. We're constantly updating that stuff there. Baseball, basketball, and softball schedule are up there right now. We don't have the women's basketball team up there yet, but we are currently working on that right now. Kind of start that late in the season, but we'll see. We'll throw the women's up there at some point here, hopefully this week here. Um, we also have another schedule. If you are an LSU fan, we have the LSU schedule as well on the website as well under their own respective tabs. So you don't have to go like wait for any like try to go search for something or whatever. It's like a lot, it's just right there in the open, right there, right when you go to Fishbowl website. It's fishbowlsports.wix.com, I think is what it's called here. But yeah, you can search on our Facebook page and stuff. It'll bring you right there to it. Anything you want to say before we get off here, Jalen?
I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in as always, and hey, go Cajuns.
Go shop at Team Whiskey, one of our sponsors here on Fishbowl Sports, and go hit up our Walmart storefronts. We have a lot of gear for Raging Cajun fans, tailgate stuff. Even if you're not into, like, if you don't want any Raging Cajun gear or any of that stuff, you can go buy whatever you want. If you need a new sofa from Walmart, go buy you a new sofa. You need a mattress topper, go buy it from Walmart through our link. You buy it through our link there. That helps us and that helps keep this show free. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you have a great, wonderful night. We'll see you here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.